In the last few days, we have crossed from the Canadian border, driven down through the vast and beautiful state of Montana, and pushed the convoy down into Wyoming. The road has been long, at times very difficult. The powered paragliders have proven to be frustrating and even dangerous, and require a lot of extra work. The days have been long, and just about everyone has been feeling some form of strain. But this strain is the price of exploring. It's a small price to pay for the ability to step outside of one's comfort zone and to experience something far beyond the ordinary. I'm realizing that this trip, like many others, is all about overcoming obstacles as a team. I'm convinced that as long as you have the right people with you, there is nowhere you can't go. Expedition Overland's Great Pursuit is proudly presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. In association with Patriot Campers and P-Core Systems. In part by STANLEY. Warn. Icon Vehicle Dynamics. MaxTrax. GARMIN. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. Equipped. Aviator Paramotor. The Power of Red Arc. Magpul. After passing through Lander, Wyoming, we find ourselves camped out at the base of the Wind River Mountains, a place I've been before not as a leader, but as a student. It was here in 2001 that I took the Wind River Mountaineering School through Knowles, where I learned a variety of leadership and outdoorsman skills. And now, nearly 2 decades later, I'm back, leading my own expedition. Well, we're a bit into Wyoming now, southern Wyoming. And I would say that the trip is well underway. We've gone through the honeymoon stage of everybody being great with each other. Then we went through a storming stage a little bit on the way down here, which is normal. We expect that. Kind of get things situated. And now we're in the machine stage. Everything's just running tip-top. And everyone's having a great time. It feels like any other time that we've crossed like Canada or Central America or South America, it feels like we're on our big trips. And I feel very fortunate to be able to do a trip like this across the United States and complete that Pan-American 100%. Because before this, we've always just kind of jumped across the US, got home, drove to the border, went to this Central America, etc. Same with South America. This time we're doing the US right. Tonight's a great night. Gonna have some great food. We're all relaxing. Trip's going well. On the eve of our next tough trail, we all reminisce about previous jobs. Rochelle used to work the grill at McDonald's. I myself was a busboy and a dishwasher. Kurt worked in a small engine repair shop, and Richard used to be a sandwich maker at Subway. If you went back to any of us during that time and told us we'd all be here in this place under these circumstances, none of us would believe you. It's Richard's birthday today, so we got him a little special present. We saw Richard admiring these the other day at the station at one of the stores, so we just decided that we'd get it for him. Saw you admiring some things the other day. These are for you. We know you like them.
This is a reveal here.
Richard doesn't have a pair of sunglasses that are prescription, so he needed a set that can go over his prescription sunglasses. And so we found just the thing. Yeah.
I'm protected.
It's gonna get bright out today.
Did
We're about ready to take the trail up to Christina Lake, and the storm came in, so everything got shifted into high gear. We're deflating all the tires. Hopefully the trail will be okay.
Yeah, really excited to see what this trail has for us. It sounds like there's some pretty nasty spots, and everybody's telling us, you know, Tundra can't do it. So we told them challenge accepted. However, we're not going to beat the thing up too. So you know, we do have a long ways to go yet with these rigs, and a lot more plans for them. So, you know, we do what's best for both the show and for the rig itself. So should be a great day.
This may be the hardest route that we've ever done with these vehicles. And to be fair, these vehicles are built for touring, not rock crawling. Hopefully we don't come out with any body damage, but if we're careful, we'll be fine.
You may have noticed that we left the trailers back at camp. Our day is planned for an up and back excursion, and that is actually where trailers shine the most. They make a great base camp that allows your camp to remain set up when exploring the area around it.
I'm kind of nervous because I'm in the lead. If I was in the back, I think I would be fine.
Today is a special day for Ashley. We've agreed to put her behind the wheel of Odin again and at the front of the convoy to lead it for the first time through a technical trail. I'm sure she'll do just fine.
Mile 0. And it only gets worse from here.
One of Kurt's friends who lives here in Wyoming told us about this trail just a couple days ago. The Christina Lake Trail is a 9-mile trail, and it's one way in and one way out. Perfect for a day's excursion. It's very flexy, you could say, and with such a wide range of vehicle types, no one truck can take the same line as the one before. Because of that, the trail is slow for us, and it takes 5 hours just to get within the final mile of the lake, which, allegedly, is supposed to be the hardest section.
So far, so good. There's been nothing that this Tundra can't handle yet. We've had 2 little skid plate touches, and they were soft ones, probably more my fault than the trails. We probably could have done without them. But yeah, I mean, as many bad looks as we got, and as many times where people thought we were not going to make this thing up here, we're only about a mile from the end of the trail right now. So, I mean, there still could be something even crazier up there, but as of right now, we're doing good.
So how is it having the kids on the trail?
So fun. No, it's actually been really good. We move pretty slow for kids with filming, so there's a lot of stops and starts. When they get a little rambunctious and noisy, I just kick them out of the car and make them go run the trail. So it's all good. It's a fun day. It was awesome.
As it turns out, the last 2 miles of the trail proved to be the toughest. We begin to realize our situation here as we make our first stream crossing.
Just creep.
Creep?
How stuck was it?
It wasn't stuck.
I think you're just kissing it.
Okay. I just didn't like the noise.
Unfortunately, here in the Tundra, our brakes are starting to get real soft. I'm fully compressed here, and so it's less smooth going for me at this point. I don't have near as much brake control, and you know, we're always driving with 2 feet here when we're rock crawling, and I'm almost completely mashed to the ground with my left foot and my gas, you know, just kind of working through it, and it's not giving me what I need. So.
Bumpy up in here. Cool to see what these trucks can do though.
While the Toyotas are managing to survive the trail, our Gladiator Odin is simply thriving. The Jeep comes stocked with the ability to disconnect the front sway bar system, allowing the Icon suspension to droop really far, and that's keeping those generals on the ground more often and providing better traction. Differences in the trucks affect trail capabilities between them, such as wheelbase and tire size. The Land Cruiser has the smallest tires on it with 33s, but it has the shortest wheelbase, making it the most agile. The Tundra has 35-inch tires, but a longer wheelbase, which kind of evens out the breakover gains we get from a taller tire.
It's getting legit.
The Jeep Gladiator has 37s on it and a slightly longer wheelbase than a Tacoma, which is proving to be a big advantage on this trail, and is overall the best suited for this type of environment.
You tired yet, Ashley?
Yep. I am so tired.
I'm hella. You're doing a great job. But if you keep going, you'll have driven the entire way.
I know, that's why I keep going. But I'm not driving back.
Right there on the
We have to start talking about if we're gonna make it or not.
Yeah,
That was rough back there.
that was rough.
Did you do it with Kurt spot you?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it
coming down, that's one thing. Going back up, it might be another.
That's true. Yeah.
So, all right.
I think we'll be able to pick up a little time heading back out, but it'll still take a while.
It's gonna be late night.
Yeah.
Hold. Is she passed?
The Tundra struggles with the closely grouped trees on our final stretch of the road to Christina Lake, forcing us to partake in a little forestry.
Keep coming, keep coming.
All right now. Okay, cool. Come on through. I smell the lake. We are pulling up to Christina Lake. It's been about a 9-hour journey into here. Is that right? Yeah, 9 hours journey, but we stopped for lunch and did a lot of filming and had a lot of fun on the way up here. It'll probably be about a 2.5 or 3 hour drive out. Wow, that is a big lake.
After nearly 9 hours of technical trail, close calls, and stop-and-go driving, the lake is a frigid but welcome sight. Driving technical trails takes a lot out of you, but it's nothing a quick dip in the lake can't fix. If you're brave enough.
I'm all right.
Ryder's been itching to fish for days, and we kept promising him we'd get up to this lake and he could fish. We got him licenses and everything. And then we get up there and it's so windy that it's really hard to fish, but he's bound and determined. So Clay was out there helping him untangle his line and show him how to cast without hitting anybody. So it's been really good. So yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap it up and head out. It was a good day.
All right, well that was fun. That was tons of fun. I don't know that I swam in a lake that was colder than that one.
Really? It's the coldest lake you've ever swam in?
That was brutal.
I'm kind of glad I didn't swim.
Yeah.
Same.
Channeling my inner Ashley.
These old bones are tired and cold from that lake.
There's an old climbing saying that climbing down the mountain is still climbing the mountain, and that's the case here.
Fire up those rigids so I can see. 'Cause right now, it's dark. Ah, there we go.
Rigids, engaged.
Making good time coming down, guys. That was double the speed of what it took us to go up that same section. Good work.
Fortunately, the ride back is much faster than it was on the way up, and doing it in the dark adds a whole new element to the experience. We roll into our campsite at about midnight and immediately fall into bed. The next morning, we peel out early for Utah. We're headed for one of our most unique campsites.
So Clay, what do you think of this place?
This place is spectacular. It's got like a Sea of Cortez feeling, Baja feeling, but it's just outside of Salt Lake in a way. You know, it's in Utah.
I love water so much, and I feel like we've been chasing lakes this whole trip. We're like, we keep telling the kids, we're gonna camp by a lake, we're gonna camp by a lake, you can fish, you can swim. So it's really fun to be able to hear. And just right away, it's like constant flame. They're just all down by the water, throwing rocks, swimming. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. It's so good. This is a great spot.
What do you think, Bri?
Oh, this is glorious. I love water. So happy to be able to have some water by camp. It doesn't always work out this way, but tonight it's working out. Woo!
This morning we're going to fly. I haven't flown since Montana. We haven't even been able to redeem myself after the crash up in White Sulphur Springs area of Montana. So today is the day. Hope it all goes well. A little nervous for sure.
Ty and Brian have lifted off with ease, giving me a little more confidence for takeoff. As soon as my feet lift off the ground, the sting of my last crash is replaced by the euphoria of flying with my friends. And with everyone up and running, the plan is to cross the lake and make a run on the gorge, but not before a few fun passes on the rigs. If you have ever dreamed of soaring along the morning cliffs in total freedom of movement, this is how you do it. Just when you couldn't think a flight like this could get any better, a couple golden eagles join us for the pass down the ridge. We take our fuel capacities to the very edge, soaking up a moment years in the making. The winds have switched since takeoff, and we land in the opposite direction.
Loving life. Awesome. Here he comes.
That makes all of this worth it. Towing them around, even though we haven't been flying as much as we wanted to, it doesn't matter. It's a great experience, having a great time. And now today we're gonna pack it up and do a bunch of dirt down towards Salt Lake, head that way. It's coming to the end of this portion of the trip, and I'm just really thankful to be able to do this. Even though the experience changed, it's a great experience.
Utah never disappoints with its vast diversity of scenery. Point your rig in any direction, and within a few hours, any way, you'll find something completely new. During our drive south, we're graced with the presence of a bighorn ewe and her kids, making their way up from the road. These critters are some of the coolest animals in the West. I love them because they just seem to be fearless. Utah continues to captivate, and around the corner, some of America's earliest heritage continues to stand the test of time. This is primarily a Barrier Canyon-style panel, but it holds a rare example of both pictographs, which is painted art, and petroglyphs, which are pecked out of the stone. Some of these are thought to be some 4,000 years old, and it represents a large history of people traveling through here and telling their stories. Just like us. They have been wonderfully preserved and protected. And the incredible initiatives Utah has undertaken to preserve these areas is paying dividends for all of us curious explorers. And I'm excited to know that my kids' kids may one day come here and see them for themselves.
Absolutely wild. Really makes you feel pretty small. These have been here for thousands of years.
Yep, we're going to camp. It's called the Wedge Overland, Utah's Little Grand Canyon, in the north end of the San Rafael Swell. Well, sadly, it's our last night, but it was a great day today. We saw a lot of incredible stuff, and that's what it's all about, going out and seeing things and spending time with good people. So I think this trip has been a tough one at first, and then it rounded right out to this day, and I feel like this is the perfect ending, the perfect spot, on a high, so to speak. So tonight we'll make a meal, share a beer together, sit around in a circle, talk for one last time, and we're not going to see each other for a while, because even the next trip's going to be different. So it's just time to soak it up, enjoy the moment, and draw this episode and this trip to a close.
Where to begin? It's been a wild couple weeks here. To think that we kicked off on the Whipsaw Trail in Canada a little over 2 weeks ago now. It's pretty wild to see and think about how much we've seen. One of those trips where you can't even absorb all of it. It's going to take a few weeks back home to kind of really think about all the places, faces, and things we did the last 2 weeks.
I didn't really know what to expect coming into this trip. My thought was that it would be a lot of challenges, and it ended up being a lot of challenges that were just in different ways, different fashions.
We eventually found our groove, but I think I learned a lot about myself more than anything.
This trip reiterated to me the fact that you plan a trip and it's not always going to go to plan. Especially a trip like this where the stakes are high and there are a lot of moving parts involved. And I think this trip was all about overcoming adversity.
We put in the time, we struggled, we had some accidents, things went wrong, but we overcame them, we persevered, and then we were treated to an amazing flight with the three of us over those kind of backbone spires around Flaming Gorge.
Introducing powered paragliders and pushing for new dreams and combining things has been a big challenge, but it's been really good.
It was the first time we had the boys with us the whole time, and it was a challenge for sure. It's not the average family vacation trip, for us it's a lot of work. But at the same time, it caused us to slow down a little bit and really try to enjoy those moments with the kids.
It's crazy. Feels like we just started, but it's been 2 weeks.
And sometimes it takes 2 weeks to really get into your own and hit that stride. And I think in the last probably 5 days, we've really come together and things have really started to gel.
It's been amazing. I have been so humbled by how well it went. I was really nervous about how I was going to fit in with everybody. I have never done anything like this before. Most of these guys I hadn't met until this trip. And yeah, it was incredible.
You can travel for days on end, on dirt specifically, days on end. And you can be in environment after environment after environment after environment. It just constantly is changing. There's so much beauty to behold. And it just makes me excited to keep diving into it.
Best part about these trips is getting a chance to learn from everybody. And as I mentioned, Kurt knows everything. And watching Clay work and work through the production process is fantastic. It's a privilege to be able to get a chance to learn how he puts these things together. And if I get to take some of that in the future and do that on my own, that's perfect.
I just want to keep going. But all the good things have to come to an end, at least temporarily.
I couldn't ask for a better team, with better people. And to me, that's the real reward, is being out here and building friendships, and you walk away with a story of like, remember that one time? Yeah, that was tough, but it was good.
The next portion of the trip is still a bit of a question mark for us. We have some different goals and challenges for ourselves that we've set, and I'm really looking forward to getting after those things.
Now that the first leg of the trip is complete, it's time to mark the calendar for the next leg. October will be the perfect time to pick up the travel and head further south into the deserts of the West. Stay tuned as we embark on a whole new adventure as we pursue our passions and take our skills to the next level. Next time on Expedition Overland. Help us fuel the adventure by checking out xoverland.com and picking up some merchandise.